Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Beyond World This One. My name is Diksha Bisla. Let's start this bulletin by quickly taking a look at the headlines. US President Donald Trump says he will host New York's Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani for a meeting on Friday, and this is after fiercely attacking the 34-year-old self-described democratic socialist during his recent campaign. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visits Israeli troops deployed in buffer zone inside Syria, calling their presence immensely important to their country's security, while drawing sharp rebuke from Damascus and others. UN Nuclear Agency head renews his call for Iran to allow inspections at key nuclear sites attacked by Israel and the United States in June. Iran's Foreign Minister Araghchi rejects any cooperation with the IAEA. Donald Trump says he has signed a bill requiring his administration to release files on sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Justice Department will ensure maximum transparency in the probe. Ukrainian rescuers worked through the night after a Russian barrage of drones and missiles strike apartment blocks in Ternopil, killing at least 26 people, including 3 children. Jakarta and New Delhi negotiate a BrahMos supersonic cruise missile deal. Indonesia's Defence Minister Shafri Shamsuddin, in his visit to India next week, is expected to hold talks on possible missile exports. Nitish Kumar will be sworn in as Chief Minister of Bihar for the 10th time today. Along with him, 18 MLAs from 5 parties will take oath as ministers. Prime Minister Modi, along with BJP Chief Ministers from other states, will attend the ceremony. India's Supreme Court will today deliver its opinion on a presidential reference under Article 143, seeking clarity on whether governors can be given timelines to act on state legislature bills. After a protracted 43-day shutdown delays data, the US is set to release its long-awaited September jobs report on Thursday. Economists forecast modest gains of around 50,000 jobs and expect unemployment to remain around 4.3%.
The United States and Venezuela seem to be on a path toward direct conflict. At the same time, some American allies are questioning the legality of U.S. operations in the Caribbean, specifically the strikes on speedboats suspected of carrying drugs. Now there are conflicting reports some allies are withholding intelligence from their American counterparts because of the strikes. So to really understand where this all started, we sort of need to go back to January 20th of this year. That's when President Donald Trump retook the Oval Office and signed an executive order laying the groundwork for certain South American cartels getting the Foreign Terrorist Organization label. In February, the White House formally declared 8 Latin American crime organizations as FTOs. In August, the U.S. military buildup began in the Caribbean, and on September 2nd, the U.S. carried out its first known strike on a small boat suspected of carrying drugs. A month later, after all sorts of debates in Washington and abroad about the legality of the strikes, Trump sent a memo to Congress informing them the U.S. was now involved in a non-international armed conflict with the cartels that were declared FTOs, and therefore killing anyone working for or with the cartels was justified, because they were considered unlawful combatants. We've reported on this before, so check out SAN.com for a full breakdown. But basically, the Trump administration's legal arguments for the strikes is because a country has a right to defend itself, And because these cartels are now considered foreign terrorist organizations, the strikes are legal. But outside of the administration, it's not so clear cut. Democrats on Capitol Hill and even some Republicans are accusing the administration of carrying out extrajudicial killings, which is a nice way of saying these strikes amount to murder. And this is where we start getting into conflicting reports of intel sharing or not sharing. France and the UK both have a significant military presence in the Caribbean and often work closely with the United States on drug interdictions. CNN reported the UK suspended intelligence sharing with the US over the boat strikes, but both US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his British counterpart, Yvette Cooper, denied that claim and called it fake news. France did call the strikes on speedboats flatly illegal, but Paris and Washington are still sharing secrets too. Colombia did stop sharing intelligence with the United States. The decision was made after Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, said the fight against drugs must come second to the fight to protect human rights. Now, up until this point, all of the U.S. strikes in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific happened in international waters. But if the U.S. starts hitting stuff on land in Venezuela, then U.S. allies may rethink their stances on intel sharing, which happens in the international community. For instance, the Netherlands is not sharing intel with the US right now because the Dutch think it might wind up at the Kremlin. There have been at least 20 more strikes on suspected drug boats since the first one in September. Around 80 people were killed in those strikes, maybe more. There have also been several efforts in Congress led by Democrats to rein in the president's authority in what's now being called Operation Southern Spear, but none of those efforts were successful.
We have some breaking news coming in. The US has cleared a possible $92.8 million weapons sale to India, which includes Javelin missiles and Excalibur precision-guided artillery rounds. The package includes 100 FGM-148 Javelins, 25 command launch units and 216 Excalibur rounds, along with training, maintenance and life cycle support. The Excalibur projectiles and related equipment are valued at an estimated $47.1 million, while the Javelin missile system and related equipment are valued at an estimated $45.7 million. According to U.S. Defense Security Cooperation Agency, the sale will enhance India's ability to counter current and emerging threats, strengthen its homeland defense, and reinforce U.S.-India strategic partnership. The DSCA has notified Congress of the proposed transfer. Well, for our viewers who are just joining us, this is the breaking news we're getting. The United States has cleared a possible $92.8 million weapons sale to India. Now, this deal will include Javelin missiles and Excalibur precision-guided artillery rounds. The package includes 100 FGM-148 Javelins, 25 command launch units, and 216 Excalibur rounds. And this is along with training, maintenance, and life cycle support, which has been extended. The Excalibur projectiles and related equipment are valued at an estimated $47.1 million, while the Javelin missile system and related equipment are valued at an estimated $45.7 million. Now, according to U.S. Defense Security Cooperation Agency, DSCA, the sale will enhance India's ability to counter current and emerging threats, strengthen its homeland defense, and reinforce the U.S.-India strategic partnership. And for more on this, our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, is joining us on the phone line. Siddhant, talk to us about what this deal means for India and how will this affect the India-US defense ties?
Well, there are several aspects to this deal. First, of course, is the fact that it shows that strong India-US defense partnership that remains despite the political relationship in a situation which is not very positive, primarily because of Donald Trump's tariffs on India. The second, of course, is a message in the region. Of course, this deal will be closely watched, especially in Islamabad and Rawalpindi. Remember, Pakistan suffered major losses after the Pahalgam terror attack in India, which was done by Pakistan-trained terrorists. In fact, the move sent still through the Pakistani military circle, given the fact that this deal is happening even as the Pakistani side has been spreading a lot of propaganda that there have been growing ties between Washington and Islamabad. But coming to the deal, this deal, of course, is an approval, and the Congress has 30 days to block the sales. But it really does when it comes to related notifications. Of course, the total cost stands at around $92 million, and of course, focus will be on the delivery of the two large packages, which of course strengthens India's military might in a region fraught with various issues, whether it is Pakistan supporting a lot of terrorism in the region, whether it's India, whether it's Afghanistan, or of course is the situation in the Indo-Pacific.
Of course, if the deal comes through, it will be a significant development for India. But for now, thank you so much for getting us all those details. That was our Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, joining us on the broadcast.
אנחנו מייחסים חשיבות עצומה ליכולת שלנו, גם ההגנתית וגם ההתקפית כאן, שמירה על בעלי בריתנו הדרוזים, ובעיקר שמירה על מדינת ישראל ועל גבולה הצפוני אל מול גולן. זו משימה שיכולה להתפתח כל רגע, אבל אנחנו סומכים עליכם.
Okay, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders, great millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and wherever you may be, and wherever you may be, too, I say Shalom, Yahshua, Shalom. All right, we're going to talk about this one piece of news clip here from, well, obviously anywhere, but I picked up the one from the South China Morning Post. The headline here says, UK says military options ready as Russian ship points lasers at British pilots. Because there's this ship here, the yard rats, whatever it is. The name is here somewhere. There's some kind of wide word ship here, a Russian ship that has I think this is now the second time been in off the coast of the UK waters. Okay, and so when they went to surveil the ship, they hit the pilots with lasers. I guess to throw off their their visual and whatever. So it says the Russian embassy said that Moscow has no interest in undermining the UK's security as it sails spy ship on the edge of British waters. Okay, once again, the headline says UK says military options ready as Russian ship points lasers at British pilots. So they're basically saying, well, they said it in the video, which we'll probably play after this. So it says British Defense Minister John Healey said on Wednesday that military options are ready should the Russian spy ship, that's the word Yantar, become a threat after it directed lasers at British pilots sent to monitor it. Britain's Royal Navy and Royal Air Force routinely shadow potential threats to national security, and such missions to monitor Russian vessels and submarines have become more frequent since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. Healey said directing lasers at a RAF pilots was deeply dangerous, and Britain was poised to react depending on the Yantar's next move. We have military options ready should the Yantar change course. All right. So he says we have military options ready should the Yantar change course. In other words, if they think that this is some kind of act of, war, or that they're doing something else, then we have a plan for that. Okay. Responding to what it described as endless accusations, the Russian embassy in London said, our country's actions do not affect the interests of the United Kingdom and are not aimed at undermining its security. We are not interested in British underwater communications, it said, urging the British side to refrain from destructive steps that exacerbate the crisis phenomena on the European continent. Because I think this ship can monitor underwater cables or some stuff like that. The Yantar designed for intelligence gathering, okay? Designed for intelligence gathering and mapping, mapping undersea cables, is currently on the edge of British waters north of Scotland, Healey said, okay? And they're pretty much, like I was saying, Russia put Ukraine in the dark, I can't remember where they exactly struck, that caused that. I'm not sure if they're still in the dark or not. Maybe not. Okay, it couldn't be more than a week old, that particular incident. All right, but yeah, Russia's pretty much winning. All right, against Ukraine. Okay, what's this old dude's name? I forget his name, but he basically said that that America and Ukraine has lost. All right, Russia's won. They're gonna basically take it over. Period. That's his words. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going on already, but as you can see, Russia's not backing down. Of course not, and they're not really sweating. Okay. He added, "This is the first time we've had this action from Yantar directed against the British RAF. We take it extremely seriously. I have changed the Navy's rules of engagement so that we can monitor more closely the activities of the Yantar when it's in our wider waters. This isn't the first time the Yantar has probed Britain's defenses," Healy said. After a warning last year, the Yantar left UK waters for the Mediterranean when the Russian ship later sailed through the English Channel. In January, it was followed by HMS Somerset, a frigate assigned to Homeland Defense. And there might be it. There could be some more down here. Yeah, it just kind of ended abruptly. Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Okay, just seeing what's happening between these two. Okay, UK says military options ready as Russian ship points lasers at British pilots. So they're out there, and off the, this UK, with a ship out there. What it says is designed for intelligence and mapping undersea cables. Okay, and when the British pilots came to see what they were up to, they flashed lasers at them to kind of throw off their I guess their line of sight, or what however it works there. Okay, and so they're saying that if the Russian ship is planning something, then we have something planned too. Okay, but as a matter of fact, let's get a scripture real quick. Okay, just like all these things, it's the same scenario over and over and over, but they do build up to a certain point. Okay, and we go to this so often, but so what, over and over and over, right? Matthew 24, okay, and 6 says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." And I'm not saying exactly Russia and NATO is at war. Okay, I can't even really say they're any kind of proxy war, because I'm not sure how Ukraine fits into the whole NATO thing, which I don't think so. There was a talk about Poland, which, when it comes to Poland, NATO and Russia should have been at war, pretty much, when it comes to the Article 5. So yeah, I mean, everything's on the Lord's time. That's basically the whole gist of it, all right? Everything's controlled by the Lord, so things happen, on the Lord's time. So, but, different scenarios like this are interesting, because it's always interesting to see, well, what's going to happen. Is it going to be something? Is it going to be nothing? Is it going to be something major? Whatever the case may be. Like one of these clips, I believe Netanyahu, I can't remember what he attacked Syria again, or because I know it was something about him visiting his soldiers that are in Syria, and just kind of raising alarms. But I can't remember if it was because after they attacked Syria again or something like that. But yeah, so there's all different kinds of what we're reading here. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, because these are signs of the times of the end. But the end is not yet. There's more to come. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Just thought it was interesting to see what they got going on over there with this ship off the UK waters, and what they're doing, if anything, because maybe they're doing nothing. All right, but I mean, the ship is to what? Gather intel and map out undersea cables. And I'm not exactly what cables they're talking about, but which you could probably figure it out. Just a little research, but it's not really necessary. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Lord, will you edify? Shalom.
As I speak, a Russian spy ship, the Yantar, is on the edge of UK waters north of Scotland, having entered the UK's wider waters over the last few weeks. This is a vessel designed for gathering intelligence and mapping our undersea cables. We deployed a Royal Navy frigate and RAF P-8 planes to monitor and track this vessel's every move, during which the Yantar directed lasers at our pilots. That Russian action is deeply dangerous, and this is the second time this year that this ship, the Yantar, has deployed to UK waters. So my message to Russia and to Putin is this: we see you, we know what you're doing, and if the Yantar travels south this week, we are ready.